may have a less than flattering view of me, but I want to express my condolences for your father.
I appreciate it.
I didn't know him very well, although I understand he played a key role.
Anyways, I've been talking to myself, I guess, for the last 4 minutes.
We still have several arcs missing.
As my microphone was not plugged in.
Any idea where they went?
Anyways, hold on, I'm gonna mute this one more time.
Thousands of colonists are unaccounted for. It paints the initiative in an unflattering light. Did you have some other business?
Sounds like the Nexus has had a rough time of it.
Publicly, I would say we're more than up for the challenge. Privately, I can tell you, it's been a disaster. The Scourge killed hundreds, many of them our senior leadership. Even the founder of the initiative, Gian Garson, is dead.
How did Jean Garson die?
With the rest of the leadership, when the Nexus hit the Scourge, a large wing of stasis pods was destroyed. They were killed instantly. These people traveled 600 years and died before they even woke up. Jean Garson never glimpsed Helios. She never saw her vision realized.
Okay. So I'm back. I was eating some food. So anyways, you saw there... Ooh, put the mic down. Anyways, you saw there, they talked about Gian Garson. Just an FYI, I bought the book. Came out the same day. Mass Effect Andromeda, Nexus Uprising. And, there's been some journal entries I've come across here where they talk about Sloan, Kelly, Jan Garson, and several other people. They're all in this book. And there's been some stuff where I've read some notes about a mutiny that happened and whatever. Some of these characters are involved, so I'm assuming, I guess unfortunately at this point, I know that something's going to happen with these characters in the game, so... Anyways, and Jan Garson was supposed to be like, I guess she's the big wig that was behind this whole initiative. It sounds like she died before she even got to see it.
How did it play out?
Criminal elements took advantage of the emergency and preyed on people's fears. An uprising followed. We had no choice but to turn to the Krogan to deal with them. They crushed the mutiny and the criminals were banished. Exiles, we called them. I doubt we've heard the last of them. They're led by an outlaw, Sloan Kelly. She used to be one of ours.
Who is this Sloan Kelly?
She was head of security on the Nexus. She opposed the uprising at first, but eventually turned traitor and joined them. Misguided sympathy for the plight of the common citizen? Nonsense. They posed a direct threat to our existence.
There don't seem to be many Krogan around.
Good riddance. The Krogan demanded a greater say in political matters. The last place you want them involved. Their muscle, nothing more. Good for fighting and lifting heavy objects. When they didn't get what they wanted, they left.
And it's funny because in the past, you know, there's been 1, 2, 3, I think 3, 4 Mass Effect books. Normally, they've dealt on the peripheral edges of characters that we've come to know. You know, like David Anderson's in there. There's a few other characters. I forget the one gal. There's who's the main character in a couple of the books, and she actually, you finally get to meet her in Mass Effect 3. The outpost where you meet up with Jack. Anyways, there they're good reads if you're really into the Mass Effect universe. The last book was a bit of a mess. Supposedly later editions fixed some things, like they had there were a lot of inaccuracies from the universe lore and what was used in that book. Most famously, a character that had been quintessentially homosexual and gay was suddenly made straight, which seemed a bit weird. Like he had gone through conversion therapy and it actually worked, which is not a true thing, but there's people out there that believe it.
Why don't you like the Krogan?
It's common knowledge that they are a violent, ignorant species. Long ago, they waged nuclear war on one another. Their planet was decimated. My people tried to uplift them, but the Krogan could never tame their worst instincts. What if they bring their tempers to Andromeda?
Hold a grudge much, my friend?
What more can you tell me about the initiative?
It represents the greatest migration ever attempted. No one had ventured beyond the Milky Way before. We've all left home in search of freedom, fortune, perhaps...
I wish I could remember this guy's name, the voice actor for Tan. I know he's the masseuse and oh, Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. I know he's on Silicon Valley. I can never remember the guy's name. And I don't want to try to murder it, because I would feel bad.
Looks like a melting pot around here.
The Nexus is home to several initiative species. Many came ahead of the Arks. The hope is that this station will one day serve as the governing body in Andromeda. Though I'm not sure what they were thinking, lumping Krogan into the mix. As a Solarian, my kind tend to have a low opinion of them. Nothing I've seen here has changed that.
No shit, you have opinions.
Why do you think most people came?
There are thousands of reasons. One for every colonist here. What does any pilgrim seek?
I gotta admit, it would be a hellified thing to get to go to another universe. Or not another universe, another galaxy.
While we cannot,
you know, it's obviously not going to happen in my lifetime, or my child's lifetime, or even my child's lifetime.
What do you know about the early days of the initiative?
As most everyone knows, Jean Garson's vision made it happen. She was an entrepreneur on Earth. Wealthy. Young for a human. Garson had the idea for the initiative in the early 2170s, I believe. Many thought leaving the Milky Way was impossible. But she persevered. And as with most great ideas, the doubters were wrong.
The other thing is supposedly everybody gets put into suspended animation.
As director of the initiative, are you in charge?
I wonder if you end up waking up really stinking, because I mean, think about it. 600 plus years pass from when you left. Now I know you're in suspended animation.
In theory,
so you don't have to eat or any of those kind of things.
And Addison manages colonial
or
affairs.
I guess you're fed nutrients or whatever. I'm not sure, but
in practice, we argue.
But it's like,
and yell at each other
if the body, and I assume it's done with some sort of cryogenic, you know, to slow down the heartbeat or whatever, but it just seems, you know, you would still
What's the problem with you?
I am not
generate
Our founder was
body odor, I would think.
Larger than
I know it's a stupid thing to think, but it popped in my mind while I was reading the book when they were talking about suspended animation. It's like, you know, how foul would that place be if, you know, like, tens of thousands of capsules open, all marinating a smell for 600 years, you know?
I was next in line for the role.
I mean, that would just be vomitous in nature. You'd have a cleanup crew cleaning the place up constantly.
So, you're an accountant?
Don't let that fool you. We are all capable of more than we know. When I was young, I was fascinated by the idea of exploring space. Life had its detours, and I went a different direction. Then I heard about the initiative, and saw my chance to try the path not taken. While I may not be setting foot on new worlds, my authority can ensure that you do.
Right. Sorry.
I do like the fact that Krogan calls this guy 8, or number 8, to remind him that he was the 8th person in the line of succession to become, like, the runner of the Nexus. It's a good slight. It made me laugh.
Any more information you can give me on the missing arcs?
No, and that is the distressing part. The Asari, Turian, and Solarian arcs are completely unaccounted for. If they had the same problems with the Scourge that we did, I fear the worst.
Makes me wonder if we'll find those arcs somewhere in this game, or if that'll be DLC content, or
the initiative can never be fulfilled.
Something. Maybe some of the tech.
Are there any other arcs we should expect?
We had hoped Quarians would be part of the first wave, but before departure in 2185, we got word they had technical problems with their ship. It seems they're also bringing along Drell, Hanar, and other species as well. Managing all of their biological needs caused complications. We won't see them for some time to come.
Well, that's a convenient way to rule out a bunch of the species that were in the first games.
Consider in making a planet viable.
Assuming
I am upset if the Quarians are not in this game.
People like a roof over their heads, and you'll want to eliminate any hostile threats. Whether that's the cat or other terrors lurking in Helios, colonists being
But having a
on
bunch
site
of different
can be
races
discouraging.
might be cool.
Also, scouting and mapping terrain is a priority for any Pathfinder. And don't forget forward stations. You'll want those.
That's all. Thanks for your time.
Of course, as you pointed out, we need each other. Our futures depend on each other's success.
Yeah, sure, we need each other.
Technicians, please report to the Hyperion coupling annex.
Staring at the wall. Let's see, where do I want to go next?
Embarkation procedures for Hyperion are on hold. Please await further instructions.
That's my elevator.
Tempest crew should report to the docking area at once.
Let's see, where do I want to go? I don't want to go anywhere like that.
Procedures for Hyperion are on hold. Please await further instructions.
Let's see.
All personnel, be aware of any suspicious activity. Security is on heightened alert. Engineering update. We are working on accessing more power from the Hyperion. All non-relevant repair requests are currently on hold until power coupling is complete.
Whoops. Started to nod off again.
Tempest crew should report to the docking area at once.
Dang it.
The docking area at once. Engineering reports. Hyperion power draw is now at 100%.
Whoops. Done that like 3 times in a row now. And here I was. I wanted to start playing earlier. And I'm still freaking finding myself exhausted. Could just be because nothing's really happening right now in the game.
Something you want, Ryder? You'll have to see to your own ship. I'm not in a risk-taking mood.
I already asked all these questions.
Excuse me, Director Addison.
Of course, Ryder.
Cassidy Shaw? I'm Ryder. I'm looking into the Nilken murder case.
Oh man, I thought that was over with. Have you heard the audio recording of their fight?
Yes.
I helped pull him off Chief Reynolds. You could see it in his eyes. He was gonna kill him. Then in the sandstorm, I had a pretty clear view of the Chief. He looked right at Nilken and shouted no. Then his chest burst open. I'll never forget it. The look on his face was pure shock.
Did Nilken seem remorseful?
I lost sight of Nilken in the turmoil. When we found him, he seemed in shock. He couldn't speak. He looked nauseated. Could have been guilt. The reality of the act sinking in.
Did you see any Ket in the vicinity?
Nilken said so, but not that I could see. Still, the sandstorm was severe. Visibility wasn't great.
If they'd fought and Nilken threatened to kill him, why was Reynolds surprised?
Fronts fight, say things they don't mean, maybe even hurt each other. But you don't expect your best friend to shoot you. To me, that's the saddest part. The Chief's heart was broken right before it exploded.
Reynolds was leading you back to retake the compound. Did you agree with that?
It wasn't my place to agree or disagree. He was ranking officer. In retrospect, it is ironic. If he hadn't been killed, we all probably would have died.
I appreciate the information.
Of course. It kills me we had to leave him behind. He deserved a proper funeral.
So the body was never examined? Important piece of a murder investigation.
Tian wouldn't allow a mission to go back for him. Said it was too dangerous.
Disembarkation procedures for Hyperion are on hold. Please await further instructions. Disembarkation procedures for Hyperion are on hold. Please await further
Keep wanting to do that where I start leaning on the joystick.
Engineering update. We are working on accessing more power from the Hyperion. All non-relevant repair requests are currently on hold until power coupling is complete. Tram technicians, please report to the Hyperion coupling annex.
Oh, awesome. I'm stuck.
Engineering reports. Hyperion power draw is now at 100%.
Let's see if I can get out of here. These kind of collision options shouldn't be happening.
Engineering update. We are working on accessing more power from the Hyperion. All non-relevant repair requests are currently on hold until power coupling
Oh,
is
come on.
Tram technicians, please report to the Hyperion coupling annex.
Shit. Well,
Tram technicians,
this sucks. Alright, well, hold on. I guess I have to exit back to the main menu. Well, yeah, because I can't save my game because I'm fucking stuck. And this has been the problem with this whole game right now up to this point. It is mired in glitchiness. You know, I've run into too many things that are just weird confliction issues. It's like I was on the first planet you go to, and it's rocky, and I try to climb up a rocky, you know, incline with a little step in it. You know, it's probably... Anyways, the whole point is, it's just running into too many things like that. Clipping into terrain that shouldn't be bothering me. Walls that seem to just kind of appear out of nowhere. There, I get trapped in a corner by a grunt that loves to squat, and you can't get out of it. And now I'm having to reload my game. Anyways, I'm going to take a break. I will come back and stream a little more. I'm just going to get me a quick refresher to kind of pop my eyeballs open. I don't know why I've been so tired, but man, I'm assuming it's just getting older. But until then, we'll be back in a little bit with some more.